It will set us apart from the majority of the world. It does it in active addiction, but it will also do it in sobriety. It will make us outwork everybody. It will make us outlove everybody. It will make us outperform everybody. It will make us outlast everybody. I'm a testament to that. Like, if this isn't magical and spiritual, I don't know what is. It's the only thing that I'm aware of where your poison becomes your medicine.
You've been sober now for how long? 7 years?
I just celebrated 9 years a couple
9
days
years.
ago.
Congratulations. That's big time.
Yeah.
So I haven't drank today's day 32.
Fuck
And
yeah.
I'm 38 years old. I
Damn.
never once in my lifetime, took a break or anything like that. Not even for like a week.
What created this break? What was
I'll
the
tell you
straw
why.
that broke the
And I'll
camel's
tell you
back?
why. And this is what I want to talk about with you. Because I realized that at 38, I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to know what my true potential is and how far I can truly go within business and as an entrepreneur and as a human being. If I'm going out and partying 2 or 3 times a week, going out and having drinks. And like I was telling you before we started recording, like too often just one glass of wine would turn into, a really late night. And so I realized what's in front of me and I'm like, I want to see how far I can go. And in order to give myself the best chance to get there, I need to be operating at 110% every single day, sunrise to the time I go to bed. And, I was on average, drinking 2 to 3 times a week. But that's 2 to 3 times a week where I'm operating at, 40, 50% the next day. And, that compounded over weeks, months, and years really, really sets you back. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try 14 days and see what it's like.
That was my question. Did you give yourself a timeline?
No, I didn't want to do something that was like 100 days and be like, man, this is gonna be tough. I was like, let me just do something that's manageable.
You can conceive that.
Yeah.
14 days, 2 weeks.
And actually, it's funny, dude. So like my barber, shout out to my barber. He's like the best barber in San Diego. He used to come in here every Friday, and he was to cut me up. And he was drinking every night. He was overweight, and right when he started coming in here, he was like, dude, I'm gonna stop drinking and I'm gonna get in the gym. And he stopped drinking. And literally like 3 months into it, he's like, dude, I can't come see you anymore. I bought my own shop. And so now I go into his shop and I was just coming off a week to where I had done 3 late nights in 1 week. And one of them was actually with one of our investors. And I went out for dinner with one of our investors and we ended up going really late. And I was like, dude, I had 3 late nights, really late nights in 1 week. And it was coming off the 3rd one. And I'm like waking up late. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? And I went in to go get a haircut with him. And I was asking him about his sobriety. And he's like, dude, it's fucking changed my life. He's like, I lost 30 pounds. I fucking bought my own barbershop. He's like, my relationship with my family, my kids is way better. He's like, there's no negatives. And I was like, dude, I think I need to like try it for a little bit.
Dude, I have to cut you real quick right there. This is that full circle moment. If you recall how we started this out, right? Ignorance is bliss. When you don't know, you're not to be held accountable for. But when you start surrounding yourself with people who genuinely like want to do better in life and you spot it, you got it, you can start recognizing the alignment and timing, right? Like you weren't there at that point, but he was, and he decided to do it. And then timing and alignment, we went for a haircut, felt like shit, had a late night, and remember that what he said and then see what he's produced as a direct result of his sobriety. It then got you to a point where like, maybe I might want to do it. Looked appealing to you.
Yeah, 100%,
Damn.
dude. 100%.
Dude,
And
that's powerful.
in that past week, I had gone out with one of our investors at like dinner, and I didn't realize it was going to be a late night, but it became a late night. You know how it goes. And I remember coming in here like off of like maybe 2 hours of sleep, and I got 3 podcast guests flying into town. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, man? And I think what was an enabler for me is like I was able to like still be good enough. Like you were, like you're doing skateboarding stuff, you're on MTV and all this stuff. And so a lot of people will see me like, oh, like you're killing it. And I'll be like, yeah, it boosts me up. I'm like, oh, like I can go out and party and have a good time. But dude, man, I'm only 32 days in, and it is the biggest life hack that no one talks about. Like my fitness is fucking dialed. My body is changing. Every single day I'm getting stronger. I'm working on the business more. I'm a better leader now. Like all my relationships are better. And the one limiting belief I had was I always thought if I didn't drink, I couldn't go out in the nightlife. And I couldn't go out and still have fun and socialize. And I always thought I had to sit at home and be like FOMO, just like sitting at home bored. And that is not the fucking case. I've been my social life has doubled because now, dude, like before I would have to pick and choose my spots. I'd be like, people invite me out to dinner and then there'd be like networking events and all these things. And I'd be like, I knew the alcohol would set me back. So I'd be like, oh, no, I'm not going to make that dinner. Right. Now, since I'm not drinking, I can go make all these dinners and like go show up to a dinner for 2 hours, socialize, have a great time. And then I'm home in bed by 10 o'clock and I'm in the gym the very next morning and I'm ripping on the business. And I'm able to go do all these social events now and have even more of a better time because I'm more dialed, I'm more present, my conversations are better. And then I get to the end of the weekend, dude, and I'm like, I've had the most productive weekend. I did way more socializing than I would even when I was partying. And I remember every single bit of the weekend and I still have free time. It's the biggest fucking life hack that no one talks about, dude.
Dude, you just encompassed what recovery can look like, depending on how someone wants to go about it, right? There's in this world of sobriety, recovery, harm reduction, there's no margin for error, yet it's impossible to do perfect because no one has the answer, right? We're simply trying to just be a little bit better today than we were yesterday. And what you said, I live by, and that is, and the viewers can, I'm proving a point. You just said it. Sobriety has given us everything that alcohol promised us, right? We become this better version of ourselves. I own a treatment center. I own sober living houses. And I tell to the individuals that I'm working with on a daily basis that struggle with this internal void or fight, like, how can I be part of? I'm going to miss out on, you know. I heard this one woman share, she said, every time I drank, it made me prettier, wittier, and tittier. And that's what alcohol does, right? Like, it just fills me full of like this false fucking confidence. And what happens is, I always say to them, if you can tell me one bad thing, literally one bad thing that can come from getting sober, I'll drive you to the bar. And I'm as open-minded as they can get. And I have yet to been given, and I stand by that.
That's so
I
good.
truly stand by that. Alcohol recovery, if we're blessed to find it, it literally becomes our superhuman power. It will set us apart from the majority of the world. It does it in active addiction, but it will also do it in sobriety. It will make us outwork everybody. It will make us outlove everybody. It will make us outperform everybody. It will make us outlast everybody. I'm a testament to that. Like, if this isn't magical and spiritual, I don't know what is. It's the only thing that I'm aware of where your poison becomes your medicine. It happened for you. You just shared about it.
Yeah. And I thought, I was
If
like, going into
honed
this,
in correctly.
yeah, going into this, I was like, you know what, like,
And that's at
there's-
32 days. The
yeah, it's
fog
32
hasn't
days.
even lifted.
Every day it gets better. My memory gets better. My speech gets better. Like, everything is
You
better.
still
But
don't even see clearly yet.
Yeah.
That's how you're, and it's the 32 days is the roughest. I said it before, I'll say it again. It takes so much longer to get 32 days sober than it will take to get 32 months or years sober. But once you fall into line and get the rhythm of it, it becomes second nature.
yeah. But I gotta say, you know, it's for me, and this is speaking for me. It's been a lot easier than I thought. It's actually been really easy, and I think it's because I'm doing it for me, and I'm very aligned with why I'm doing it. Right? I'm like building my shit. I'm doing it because I'm trying to become the best version of myself that I possibly can. And I'm not doing it just because I know I should stop drinking. I'm doing it because I want to become the best version of myself. And I know I'm not going to become that best version and live to my full potential if I'm out drinking and having late nights 3 nights a week.
So what I see your late nights to be with your investors, where you drank and it kind of got out of control, out of hand, and it was producing a result that you weren't a fan of, is you simply being divinely inconvenienced, right? Because then it allows you to create or tap into this inner power that without those nights that you weren't okay with, you wouldn't have been blessed with this result.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all perspective, man.
It's all perspective.
It really, and they taught me in treatment that if I changed my perception, I could change my world.
Yes.
And then from skateboarding, right? No was never an option. Failure was unacceptable. I knew that my mentality could create reality, but I didn't know it at the time. But then once I tapped into sobriety and had my spiritual experience, that I learned that like I can do anything.
Yeah.
I can do anything.
That's how I fucking feel, man.
Mark my words.
My confidence has gone up every single day. I feel like I can
And
run
not in
through
an
a brick wall.
egotistical way, but like legit.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you so much more confident. Like, every single day you're operating at 110%, and the confidence level gets better every day. But lastly, I'll say this, man. Like, I went out to Vegas 2 weekends ago. I bought bottle service. I'm not even drinking, but I can be around it, and I've gone out here. I've gotten tables here because I love going out. It's part of my who I am. And I love socializing. And then around the time of night where people start repeating their stories to me, they start slurring their words. That's when I'm like, all right, I'm going to cut out, go to bed. But like those 4 or 5 hours leading up to it, great time. And then, at midnight, like nothing good happens after that hour anyways. That's when I'm like, all right, I'm going to bounce,
Dude,
and
my
it's been
mother,
great.
that's so funny you just
Yeah.
said that. My mother raised me as these things when I was a kid that I live by today. You don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal, you don't drink, you don't drug, and nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah. That's good. That's a
and
good
that's
one.
literally at 46 how I try to live my life. At 4 years sober, I went to Amsterdam to an AA meeting and picked up my 4-year medallion. People do not equate Amsterdam and recovery.
Yeah, no,
It's like
no.
it doesn't coincide.
But once you do those things, it's like it gives you even more confidence. You're like, oh, this is no big deal, right?
I legit, for the majority of my life, lived in this 4-block radius that consisted of my prison that cost me $10 to get out of, one bag at a time, right? Like I just stayed in this really small area and just wash, rinse, repeat. And then I found sobriety and what I've learned through my spiritual experience, because the definition of a spiritual experience is simply a psychic change, meaning that I, Brandon Novak, today no longer look at things the way I did then. Is that I'm a free man that can go anywhere with anybody at any time, and I am no longer tempted by a drink or a drug. But that's for me because I have a very healthy relationship with my higher power, who did for me what I or no human power was ever capable of doing, which was to lift me of the obsession and rid me of the desire to continue to drink and drug. Because there were many days when I did not want to use, but I didn't have the luxury to have a say-so in the matter. I had to. And because of that, honing in on it, I remain proactive in my journey with my spirituality and my recovery, and it's such a freeing experience that if I could give a piece of what I have to anybody, I believe they'd be like, what the fuck did I stay stuck on stupid so long for? But the most freeing part about this is I got to where I'm at today by simply admitting that what I do know is that I have no idea. Right? Because then at that moment, when I relinquished complete control, I secured the ultimate victory and became an open-minded, teachable individual, which I never did before because I possessed that job that consisted of knowing everything. I dumbed my way into this.
Yeah. Do you ever look back and wonder, like, because it's really impressive all the things you accomplished in the skateboarding world, while you were doing all this stuff. Because the game I'm playing today, I can play for the next 30, 40 years, right? And so now, especially since I'm not drinking, I'm going to really, really see how far
you're
I can
about to
go.
tap into things that you have no idea exist. You were a beast before. Now you're going to become like a beast on steroids. Like,
No, I know. They don't even know.
insane. No.
And
For
and
a
I'm
fact.
realizing this right now. It's a whole new level just unlocked. And I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
But for you, do you ever look back and be like, fuck, like, what would my skateboarding look like back then if you weren't doing the partying?
No.
You don't regret it at
I
all?
don't. You know, I used to say the only thing that I regret was the pain and the sleepless nights that I caused my loved ones. But after thinking a bit more about that, I don't regret that either. Because if there were never repercussions from my actions,
You wouldn't be who you are today.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I
And now
have
you're inspiring a lot of
today,
people.
I devote my life
Yeah.
literally to help those who are where I once was. I'm in the thick of it. As a matter of fact, I'm just as much, if not more, consumed by drugs and alcohol today than I was when I was caught up in active addiction.
What do you mean by that?
I'm surrounded by it. I'm in the thick of it. I'm an
Yeah.
interventionist. I'm a motivational speaker. I own treatment centers. I own sober living houses. I'm constantly surrounded by drugs in one way, shape, or form. The only difference is that today I don't use them, and they provide an amazing life for me. That is not a blessing, I don't know what is.
For a listener out there that's like, hey, you know what? It's time for me to take a little break from the drinking, see what the sober life's all about. Would you recommend committing to it, like long term, like, hey, this is it? Or would you say, do what I did? Like, let me just commit to something that's easy, manageable, 14 days, And if you get to the 14 days, you're either going to love it and you're going to keep doing it for your own reasons because
Totally.
you're going to want it, or would you say fuck it, just do the commit to it for good?
Dude, anybody out there now that's caught up in active addiction or alcoholism and is thinking about, entertaining the notion of getting sober and staying sober the rest of their life, it's the equivalent in their brain of trying to climb Mount Everest with no hands or feet or eyes. It's that fucking overwhelming. So what I do is just like, fuck that noise, quiet that down, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Just pick the phone up and call me. That's one step at a time. And then from there, we'll figure out what the next step is. Because at that moment, you're trying to figure out all these moving pieces and appoint particular individuals to roles that have to play to create this outcome. And it just seems like a never-ending, daunting task that's
Yeah, I agree.
not doable. So it's like, just start by picking the phone up. Because again, if I could have done this on my own, I would have. Truth of the matter is, anyone caught up in that game with addiction or alcoholism is fighting a fixed fucking fight. No one wins. No one wins until you admit defeat. It's a mind fuck. Because who wants to admit defeat anywhere in life?
No, I
And
feel
then
you, man.
when I look back, what I learned, all I did for the better part of 15 years, doing it on my own because I was the great I am and I had to suffer in silence because I couldn't let you know the reality of my situation because what would that do to my manhood or my professional career or my ego? Is I suffered in silence. And all I did was just rearrange the furniture on the Titanic for like 15 years. My ship sank every goddamn time. And the moment I was like, you know what? Show me who you walk with, I'll tell you who you are. I can't do this, but like these people at these meetings and at these treatment centers who every time I go and try to seek help, they're there and they have wives, they have homes, their shit's not being put out in trash bags every night and they're clean and they don't stink and they have money. Maybe they have a better idea about this thing called life. So
Powerful.
maybe, like you said, the common denominator in every one of your problems before 34
Was
days
just
ago
one
was
drink.
one glass of wine.
Yep.
Mine was me. I was always the common denominator in my problem. It's just funny because all I had to do was just admit that I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on, man. And I love everything that you're doing. You're inspiring a lot of people. You're helping a lot of people get off their addictions and back into a whole new world. A world that for a lot of people don't even realize exists.
Yeah.
And so
Congrats to you, man. I'm
thank you, brother.
so proud of you.
I appreciate
I'm truly
you.
grateful to be here. I could talk about this stuff for like days.
Yeah,
Man.
appreciate you, brother. Where can the folks get in touch with you?
If anyone's out there and they need help or want to entertain what that may look like, it starts with a simple phone call, and you can reach me directly at 610-314-6747. Myself or John will answer that call, and we will do everything in our power to get you the help that you deserve, not what you fucking need.
There it is. I love it. He's Brandon Novak. I'm Rich Summers. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Love you.